it's Reagan, and today I am doing my May TBR, and this video is being sponsored in part by Disney Book Group. Now for the month of May, full transparency, I'm shooting for the moon. I have so many books on this TBR that I'm incredibly excited about, and I cannot wait to get to, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Also, if you hear some snores in the background, that's Matilda sleeping and snoring away. So the first book I want to talk about is the Proustopia Book Club pick of the month for the month of May, and this month we are so excited to be reading not this book, but The Burning Maze, which is book 3 to the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. Sasha and I have read and featured each book in this series, and we absolutely love the series so much, so we're so pumped to be reading the third book with you guys. As you guys might be familiar with, Rick Riordan is one of my all-time favorite authors. I've read all of his books. They're right up there. And I could not be more excited for the third novel of this series to come out. The Trials of Apollo series is his newer series that is absolutely incredible. It follows our main character, Apollo, who's been cast out of Olympus and made a human. Not just any human, but like a teeny weenie human that doesn't even have his driver's license yet, and all he really has is his Apollo wit. And the thing that makes this novel so absolutely hilarious is that Apollo has not lost his like godly ego, so we have this little new demigod Apollo trying to work with other demigods to save the day and deal with the Oracle crisis, but he's also like very full of himself. Because of that, we get to see him throughout all of the novels kind of become more empathetic to humans and human struggle, and I just absolutely love all the characters present in this series, and there's also so many fantastic cameos throughout this as well with some of our favorite characters from past series by Rick Riordan. But yes, could not be more pumped to be reading the third book. I love this series, so excited. Cannot wait. The next book that's on my TBR is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Recently, I've just had fantastic luck rereading fantasy series that I've read in the past and really enjoyed but forgot all about, so I was unable to continue on with the series. So I've been rereading a lot of books recently and loving them even more than the first time, and that's definitely what's happening with An Ember in the Ashes. I'm currently almost done with this novel. I flew through it. I read all of this chunk in one day. I'm obsessed right now, but An Ember in the Ashes follows our main character Laia, who lives in this very like Roman-esque fantasy world. It's very military focused, and she is a part of a group called the Scholars, who were conquered by this new military empire. Because of this, she and her family just kind of keeps their head down, trying to just stay under the radar and stay alive. But then one day her brother is in prison for treason, and the only way she's able to save him is become a spy against the empire. The other character we follow is Elias, who is a top soldier at this military academy in this world, and their lives kind of begin to intertwine, but it's definitely a story of two protagonists with like two very different sets of hurdles which are just very captivating to read. Ultimately, they do cross paths, and like I'm kind of at the point where their paths are crossing more frequently, and I'm living for it. Basically, this book is awesome. It has so much action, so much intensity. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat. I cannot put this book down, and I'm loving it. Even more than the first time. And the first time I gave it like, I think 5 stars, if not 4.5, but I'm just loving it, I feel like, even more than I can recall. Due to that, when I finish An Ember in the Ashes, I want to immediately pick up A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir in preparation because A Reaper at the Gates comes out this summer, so I want to be all caught up with this series and not fall in the trap I fell into when I first read An Ember in the Ashes 3 years ago, and not continue on with the series because I'm loving it so far and I need to know what happens next. So definitely want to read these months. The next book I really want to get to is also not this book, but there'll be a picture here. It's the 4th book to the Court of Wings and Ruin series. The name is escaping me. I want to say it's like Mists and Wings or something like that. I'm absolute trash for this series. I'm trash for all of Sarah J. Maas's characters. I'm trash to see where they're going to be going, how they're going to be dealing with all the outfall of the past 3 books. I'm really hoping for a lot of things to happen. It comes out and comes in the mail to me very, very soon. It's gonna be a great time. I can't wait to pick it up and just absolutely fly through it. I love this series. It's flawed, it's problematic, but like, it's also, it's like drugs to me. I cannot not read it. It's too good. The next book I want to pick up this month is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexander Christo. I actually read the first 50 pages of this book in April, and honestly, it really intrigued me, so I'm definitely excited to continue on throughout May. This is a siren-centered fantasy story that is very, very dark. We follow 2 perspectives, one of which is a siren that has been raised in the sea, and sirens like duty is to kill and ensnare humans and kill them. Our main character kills one prince every single year, rips his heart out, and stores it in her bedroom. And we also follow a prince who is a siren hunter. At the beginning of the story, something happens that causes our main character's mother to turn her into being a human, the thing she loves most. And that's all of where I've gotten to, and I honestly can't wait to see what happens next. It's super dark, and I haven't read a lot of like sea-centered fantasy stories, so I'm very intrigued by this. The next book I really want to get to is The Emperor Mage by Tamara Pierce. This is the third book to the Immortals Quartet. I read the first two last month, really enjoyed them and completely flew through them, so I figured I would definitely want to stay on track to finish the quartet very soon. So I figured I would add the third book to my TBR for the month. And this is just a really classic fantasy story following our main character Diane, and we follow her growing up in a fantasy world, and she possesses something called wild magic, which allows her to interact and control animals. In each book, she kind of becomes more powerful in her abilities and also becomes more confident in herself. And it's just like a really great little fantasy story, and I'm enjoying it a lot. And the last book I really want to get to is a book I just don't know why I haven't read yet, and that is The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. This is just a dark, whimsical middle grade story that honestly I should have read forever ago. I love dark middle grade stories, and I'm shocked that I haven't read this yet. Whimsical middle grade story that honestly I should have read forever ago. I love dark middle grade stories, and I'm shocked that I haven't read this yet. And this follows a young boy who is cursed and has a demon living inside of him, and he spends this whole book trying to get the demon outside of him. It sounds bizarre, dark, creepy, and just everything I love in middle grade. Alrighty guys, those are all of the books I hope to read in May. Let me know down below some books you really hope to get to this month, as I would love to know, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Goodbye!